show you a music production tip that I never see people talk about. And if you mix your own music, I think it's pretty important that you know.
First things first, go check out that whole video if you haven't seen it yet. I love almost every single video by this guy, but this one specifically, I have a couple problems with. And there's also a video by White Sea Studio that can explain this better than I probably can, so go ahead and check that out as well, but I'm just going to give you my experience. If you watch the video, he explains that you should use linear phase EQs because it's going to help your gain staging, not causing as big of swings when you're adding new plugins. Also, don't mind my stuffy nose, I'm super sick right now. Okay, so the first of 3 problems is that it's only for EQ. It doesn't help with any of the other gain staging with any other plugins. And that's my smallest of problems, it's just kind of a little gripe. Number 2 is that linear phase EQ doesn't come without its own problems, like it uses a lot more CPU, you can have pre-ringing, it can often sound a lot more dull and dead than a normal EQ, especially if you're using that EQ for tone. And the third problem is that gain staging, how he's describing here, is a lot less needed now because most major DAWs work in a 32-bit float format, meaning that you have a lot of dB above 0 before you actually clip. So it only matters between certain plugins that really need it or are designed to work within a certain range, because you can always just lower it down before you go to master anyway and not have any ill effects. There's a couple more videos that I'll link in the comments that talk about that as well. See, linear phase EQ is amazing for certain things, but there's not really a point to use it outside of those things. It's harder on your computer, it can cause weird pre-ringing issues, and as long as you're giving yourself headroom, you don't really need to worry about gain staging. You could gain stage your kick to -20 and it's not going to cause any issues because we have unlimited clean gain inside of our DAWs. So I'm not saying gain staging doesn't matter, it for sure does. And I have a bunch of videos talking about it, but you don't need to be this hyper-focused on it, and you don't need to use a special EQ that's going to help you maybe just a couple dB. I would love to go more in depth on why linear EQ was created, what it's used for, and if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments and I'll make some videos about it. But for now, 2 good rules of thumb for gain staging. If you notice anything clipping, grab everything and just drag it down until it's not, and look at the plugins that you're using and see if they specifically need a certain level of gain going into them. Again, love his content though and his music. Go ahead and check him out and give him a follow. And like this video for more music tips.